Good afternoon. This is a great honor for me to start the academic year with an opening speech which I hope will be not very boring. I would like to say a few words, some basics, but not very seriously. I'm fresh, like you are. Not age-wise, but I came here a little bit earlier than you have done that, exactly 16 days ago. So I'm new in this job, like you are. I'm expecting great things from this job, like you do. Coming and judging from the first 16 days, I have to share with you that I had tremendous fun here. And I'm sure you will have it. 16 days after, perhaps a little bit bumpy, but this is the most fantastic institution I have had the honor of working for. And I hope that a year and a half from now, you will also have this feeling that this was fun, this place is a fantastic place, and we would like to come back, and we hope that you will come back. But first of all, I would like to officially welcome you as a rector, as a newly appointed rector, and would like to thank immediately my colleagues who helped you tremendously over the past 10 days, the Student Affairs Department, the Social and Cultural Officers, the Central Services have made a fantastic job, and I would like to thank them individually, each of them, and also collectively. So let's give them a big hand. I do hope that you will give a big hand to the professorial corps as well in 18 months from now, as we have here representatives and heads of corps and programs of water engineering, environmental resources, management and institutions, urban water and sanitation, hydroinformatics, and knowledge management. These are the programs you have all enrolled for, and you will be guided in the coming 18 months going through the various, sometimes difficult programs, but very satisfactory introductory. First, I would like to talk about two things. Well, what is UNESCO-IHE? It's a linear combination of two concepts. One is called UNESCO, and the other one is IHE. So may I start with UNESCO. I'm not going to report back to my boss, the Director General in Paris, but who knows what UNESCO stands for? Well, one. This is good news. This is very positive. Well, two. Well, three. Let me just ask the inverse. Who doesn't know what UNESCO is? You see, everybody knows what UNESCO is. This is a part of the United Nations. The United Nations is a family of 193 governments. It is an intergovernmental organization with a principal objective, and that goes back to the Charter of the United Nations to maintain peace, prevent war, prevent conflicts, and work towards an equitable world that is based on justice and law. These are the principles. You hear in the daily news the UN General Assembly, the UN Security, this is the politicians. The second part of the UN is the so-called specialized agencies, which are dealing with particular issues. For instance, when it comes to health, World Health Organization, when it comes to all the meteorological services which you see every day is the World Meteorological Organization. And when it comes to education, science, culture, that's UNESCO. So UNESCO is the organization that tries to bring together the knowledge generators and the knowledge sharers with the larger public. Sometimes we call it the intellectual arm of the United Nations. Some of my UN colleagues are not very keen because they say, then the rest of us are a bunch of dummies. That's not exactly the case, but UNESCO has been created for that purpose, based on the hypothesis, if intellectuals educators, scientists, researchers, engineers could not work together for a peaceful world, then nobody will be able to do that. The institution itself was born right after a major tragedy here, not only in Europe, but in the whole world, right after the Second World War. And this morning, when I had the honor of handing out joint degrees, double diplomas, with my colleague from Indonesia to 15 students who did brilliant studies just finishing after 18 months. I was already quoting that sentence, so with your indulgence, I would like to just quote the very first sentence of the UNESCO Constitution, which is otherwise 500 pages. It's very boring, but the first sentence is really gives you the flavor. Let me quote word by word. Since wars begin in the minds of man, it is in the minds of man that the defenses of peace must be constructed. This is a very deep sentence. This is here where the work should start. This is here where respect to other humans, religions, cultures has to be established through cooperation. We have so much to share. We have so many common problems to deal with. No single nation can do that. We all have to work together. That is indeed the spirit of UNESCO. And in fact, this is also the spirit of IHE. Again, today, one of the Indonesian students made a brilliant speech at the end. And he was recalling his days at IHE, and then he was reflecting upon what is IHE. He said, well, some call it international homework examinations. Others call it international holiday in Europe. Then some others call it international happiness for eternity. I think as you will go by and near the end of your 18-month period, and you will be walking away with your Master of Science degree, which will be a major accomplishment, you will think back to this institution really as a unique facility. As I'm new, I don't have to say any commercial break now, to sell the thing, because I believe it up to my heart that the people who are here have already worked hours, long hours to get you here, to fix your computers, to make sure that you arrive here in time, all the visa difficulties and all that stuff. This was phase one. Now phase two comes now, which will be two things: hard work and big fun.